So this is a drivetrain for a 2005 Mercedes ML350. The one that was in the car was starting to make a clicking noise, like a metallic noise, like metal and metal noise when you shifted it from park to reverse and vice versa. So that meant the joint itself was getting loose and wearing. These this part has a U joint, which is what you're seeing here, universal joint, and they're greased. They're self-greased. The bearings are self-greased, and when they're good for about 100,000 miles. Don't quote me on the specs. And once those joints dry up and the grease dries up, then they start to wear out the they start to freeze. And when they start to freeze, they put stress on the support, and eventually it will break. And it did break in this case, but it was still drivable. So under that clip you see there, there's six of those, and underneath each one is a bearing. This is the actual old drivetrain, and you're gonna see me try to pry it out. It took a while to get out because the bolts on one side are not accessible, not easily accessible. Um, so what I did was I just broke the U joint. I broke it, and then the whole thing fell out. And except for this piece here that you'll see, that was stuck in there. Even after I got the bolts out, it was rusted on. This is after I got it out. I heated it up. I banged it for a while, and eventually it dropped. And then now I'm taking it out. That's where it came from. So there's a ridge around that piece to stabilize the. That's the front of the where the drivetrain goes. So you're gonna see what broke. See that little C? That should have been. That's a piece of it is missing. And this is the drivetrain. That's the new one and the old one. The new one, that's two pieces. The old one is now two pieces because it was about to break. Luckily, it didn't break on the road. So this is after I put in the new one and um, and tighten the bolts. And in the front, there are some bolts that can be tightened by hex key, and you just kind of put in a bolt, turn the shaft, put in another bolt, turn the shaft until you get them all in and you torque them properly. And that's basically it. That's um, it's a pretty simple installation, although um, when you better have the proper tools because it can take you at least, if you're doing it on your own, you don't have it on a lift, it's going to take you probably about an hour to get it out. So this is just, now without it, I thought that without it, the truck would actually roll, but just the rear wheels would be powered. But without the front drivetrain in this car, it goes nowhere because it's powered by the front. So this is just me test driving the car, and it worked out. It was at night when I finally fixed it, and it worked fine. I think I'm backing out of the driveway here and going around the block, and definitely I recommend this part. It fit perfectly. I've bought other parts to this car that I had to send back because they weren't to spec. I'm sure a lot of four-wheel cars are similar. Just you can message me, I believe. I'll put a link or put my email down somewhere, and I'll give you a little bit more insight on what to look out for when you remove the part and when you install it. Thanks for listening.